everybody. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance tonight for me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have item 2 would be the announcement of the executive session. Mr. Borough Manager.
Yes, there were 2 executive sessions held. The first one was on Thursday, June 11th at 5 p.m. and earlier this evening, Monday, June 15th at 7 p.m. Both topics were legal and personnel.
Okay, the third item would be appointment to fill a vacancy on Borough Council. I would like to make a motion to nominate Hussein Tunagar. I hope I said that correctly. If I can get a second from anybody. Any comments from council?
I have a comment. Why didn't we consider the 3 that have had their letters in for 6 months? And one of which would have been elected by people.
You're asking me specifically?
Well, you made the motion, so.
Because it's my decision. That's what I wanted to decide to nominate. That's why. Because that's who I decided to nominate. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, goes
Anybody
against
else?
democracy, but yeah, it answers it.
Anybody else? Comment?
I think the comment to be made is you made a nomination, now we need to take a vote on it. It
Well,
may not
I think
pass.
people get to make comments too, right?
Yeah, so there was a motion, it's been seconded. So if there's any more comments from council, if not, it would be appropriate to open it up to the public
Yeah,
as well.
right.
Yeah.
Any comments from the public?
Tanner Beers, 31 South Walnut Street. Tonight I call on council to do the right thing, fill this vacancy in a manner that respects the will of the voters by appointing the 5th finisher, Tom Ashlemore. This should not be a partisan issue. It should not be a matter whether residents voted Republican, Democrat, or Independent. Our system of government is built on the principle that voters, not political insiders, decide who represents them. Twice this year, council has had the opportunity to honor that principle when vacancies occurred. Twice the majority chose not to. Instead of respecting the results of the election, they ignored them. If we believe elections matter, then voters' voice should not be discarded the moment if it becomes politically inconvenient. Small government was never meant to be to mean small-minded decision-making. It was meant to mean accountability, transparency, respect for the people. Every first and third Monday of the month, you are building your legacy and defining your reputation. The public is watching this week. You have another opportunity to demonstrate that you value the voters' voice more than a political advantage. And I urge you guys to take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone else? Anybody else?
Hello everyone, I am Ricky Moyer. I am a resident of the borough here. In full disclosure, I am one of the people that submitted a letter in regards to running for the open council position. I submitted one prior for a previous opening, and I'm submitting one now again. That being said, I also agree with the previous speaker that was up here that we should be nominating and moving through Tom Ashelman. There has been a long-standing issue with the optics regarding the board, and at this point, the citizens of Macungie had spoken, and he was the 5th place finisher. If there wasn't that little bout of musical chairs with the right and candidacy, he would currently be here, and this would not even be a conversation we're having today. I think the optics of the situation, your legacy, And the rest of the borough who is watching very closely about what goes on here should see that you are taking into consideration what they voted for, what they chose, and what happened on election day as well too. I, of course, would be honored if I was selected as well too, but I do believe that the correct candidate here would go to Tom, or excuse me, the good candidate for appointment would be Tom Ashley. Thank you.
Kind of just gonna repeat everything, but yeah, I know most of the people who would like to be appointed to council. They have all been coming to meetings and would do a good job on council. The one name I do not know, the name that was nominated, I'm not sure if he's ever been to a meeting, I don't.
I'm right here.
I don't
I
know.
was going a few years ago.
Hi, thank you, thanks for coming out and wanting to be part of the community, I appreciate it. But I think that Tom Asherman is the most deserving. Tom actually put his name out during the election. He was the people's next choice. He would have been elected if it would have not have been for a former councilman who scammed the people to vote for him, even though he had 2 years left on his term. Tom has been attending the meetings, the people's next choice. We live in a democracy. It's just simple, do the right thing. It's not really a complicated question. Do the right thing and appoint Tom to council.
Hi, Bernie Reiner, 142 East Main Street. I'm the other individual who also put a letter in for the seat, and I, again, echo Ricky's comments that Tom is the correct person for this position. If it's not Tom, it should be somebody who has been participating in these meetings in recent months, particularly as interest has grown. Sir, I'm sorry, I don't know you. I've been to every meeting. This is the first time I'm seeing you here, so no offense. I'm not sure why you put a letter of interest in. Had you not, we know they weren't going to pick us. Tom would have been the next logical choice. So I know you don't have to give any answers to your reasons or your decision making, but if you care about the citizens of this community, it is your duty to speak up and explain to us why this other individual is the right candidate. We don't know. None of us voted for him. You couldn't even pronounce his name.
I couldn't either.
So
you guys can be smart all you want.
Sir,
I'm
this is
saying
my public
I have a
comment.
problem with.
This is my public comment. This is my time to speak. It's not your time to speak. You had your time to speak.
Okay, okay.
You had your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Point of order.
Anybody else?
Tim Romey, business owner. I also fully support Tom Asherman. It's the people's choice. I don't know the other gentleman, but I've been coming to these meetings for years. I've never seen him before. I would think if you want to get involved in the leadership of this borough, the first thing you would do is get involved in some of the committees or the organizations in the borough. Does anybody here know this gentleman? And I'm not coming after you, sir. I don't know. This is not trying to be disparaging. I just think before you want to be a leader, you should be involved with your community. The other three candidates have been very involved in the community. They've been coming to meetings for quite a long time. And Mr. Asherman was on the ballot in the write-in, and if it wasn't for the tricky maneuver of Mr. Karboski, he'd be sitting there now. You've bypassed him multiple times. If you go with this other candidate, and I'm not disparaging the gentleman, there's something weird going on here. It's very obvious. You pushed this off time and time again. Even at the last meeting, you pushed it off. Now, all of a sudden, out of the woodwork comes another name. Can I ask you, Mr. Cal, why is his resume not date stamped like everybody else's? When did it come into the borough?
It came in, it's been a few weeks.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. The date that this was on the agenda at the last meeting, the cutoff for that date, that was the June 1st meeting, the cutoff would have been June 27th, the Wednesday before, at 12 o'clock, correct?
This is not.
No, that's when it is. It's always been that way. This letter is dated Friday. Did you have an agenda out already to the council and then redo the agenda late Friday night to add that name? Did you do that?
This past Friday.
No.
The
The
previous
original
meeting-
Friday it showed up.
So, 2 meetings ago,
Yes.
the advertisement on our website was that people had to have their submissions in by Friday. I was trying to give them the last possible minute to get their submissions in by Friday, and he did have his in that Friday.
What time?
I don't recall what time it was,
Why wasn't
Yeah.
it date stamped like everybody else's?
because I forgot.
You forgot. Did you have an agenda out to the council members without that name on it originally?
I don't recall. That's
Does any of the
that's a
council
couple
members
weeks
recall?
ago.
Anybody recall?
At the meeting
Yeah,
2 weeks
this
ago, they
isn't
asked for
question and
additional.
answer, Mr. Romy, this is public
Well, it
comment.
should be question and answer, the public wants to know. We
It's-
can't get a hold of Cal, I have 12 messages right now waiting on him, he doesn't return your calls. Where do we go? Where's the question and answer section of this borough? It's not at Borough Hall,
Well, right
and
now,
it's not here.
right now it's your
You're not
comment.
on the board, you're for legal advice,
I agree,
okay?
I
So you
agree.
do legal advice and let him run the
But
meeting.
this is
Because
your
he's
com-
incompetent,
Mr.
that's
Roman,
why he's relying on you.
this is your comment for
It is my
purposes of the
comment, but
motion.
you have no reason speaking, you haven't been asked for legal advice,
Mr. Roman,
okay? That's what your job is, right? Legal advice.
Excuse me, Mr. Roman, I got a question, okay? What was your question about Peter? What did you ask about the gentleman's resume coming in? I wanna make sure I understand what.
What did I ask about his resume? I asked about the process. The process looks skewed. That's my question. Why has the man not been involved in anything in this borough, and now his name is on the list? The other guys' names have been on there, I think, since January, for the multiple seats that have become available. Now we kept pushing it off, and all of a sudden this name out of the woodwork that nobody knows. And again, I'm not disparaging the man. He might be a great guy. But why doesn't he get involved with the borough, get on some of our committees, get involved, and then see if he wants to become in the leadership role? You guys want to take a name that nobody's ever heard of and sit at the table and start making decisions for us. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's my comment. The process is skewed.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Osame, 169 Aspen Lane. First of all, I'm very sorry to stall the process. Yes, I haven't been coming for the last 2.5 years. 3 years back, when nobody was coming, it was pretty much the police chief and a few locals. I actually used to come and discuss some of the issues with regards to where I live, but we couldn't get any tangible solution during that time because later on I found out there was a litigation going on, which is still going on between the builders where I live and the council. Recently, I found out, the attendance has increased a lot and there was a lot of stuff going on. So when I saw a post on the website that anyone could apply, I said, let me just put in case nobody is in there. The fact that this is a democracy, you're totally welcome to put your names. And with that, I just wanted to come and then see what's happening, and I just realized I've been stalling the process, so I'm just rescinding my application. So, I'm very sorry, everyone here, a couple of coffees on me. Of course. A couple of coffees on me because I just realized I caused everyone a lot of time. I just wanted to put it in there. And I don't take anything personally, including Mr. Tim. I pass by your shop every day with my kid when I'm biking from my house to the library. So, we kind of know each other without knowing each other. So thank you very much. I don't want to steal any more time, and enjoy the rest of the evening. I hope we can adjourn in a good time, not like 10:15 like last time.
Anybody else? He withdrew.
My understanding, where'd he go?
He left.
No,
He's back in the
he's
kitchen.
still there.
Sir, my understanding is you're withdrawing your interest,
I said rescind, maybe that wasn't the.
but you're withdrawing you're not interested.
My application is, I'm taking back my application.
Okay,
For the time being, come elections, you might see me again.
thank you.
Okay.
So,
Make the motion. Okay, then I withdraw my motion. Make the motion.
And
So that's null and void.
Okay,
I would like to make a motion to nominate Mr. Tom Ashelman for the third time to fill the vacancy to Macungie Borough Council. Mr. Ashelman finished fifth, as we all know, with 31 votes from you citizens of the borough voted for him as a write-in, which is very hard to do. And I think he should be seated up here along with the rest of us and should have been here since January.
I'll second that motion.
Any comments? Any comments? Roll call?
Carlsell,
No.
Hutchison,
Yes.
Megansell,
Yes.
Reinbold,
Absolutely, yes.
Lynette Sell,
Yes.
Landis.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-2.
So appointments to council do need to be by resolution. Do you have a form resolution this evening?
I have all the paperwork needed for,
Does the resolution have a number?
yes, 2026-09.
Okay. So that resolution, unless we can allow the motion to appoint to be a motion to basically adopt that resolution.
And I do have the paperwork. If Mr. Ashelman, would you like to be seated this evening? I'm not sure where you are. Would you like to be seated this evening?
If I can help, yes.
Absolutely. This is basically your swearing.
You have what you need to do. You're gonna swear in then? You got it?
Bob, would you like to swear in Mr. Ashelman?
Yeah.
Just promise not to wear shorts next week.
Congratulations. Repeat after me.
I, Tom Ashelman,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge my duties of office
and I will discharge my duties of office
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to item 4, the approval of the minutes. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll second.
Any discussion? From council? Nothing? Any discussion from the audience? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We have financial reports and treasury report for May 26. that accurate?
Yes, it is.
I'll make a motion to accept that. Seconded. Any discussion? Any discussion?
Karen Bilger, 975 Vine Street. I'm just curious why there was no financial report posted on the website so that the residents could review it before this meeting.
The council packet, the full agenda was delivered to the webmaster on Friday. Up to this point, my experience is he was great. He always got it right up, but he did forget this week. And I called him this morning. He apologized profusely, and we posted it right away. While I was on the phone with him, I got a little bit of training, so then I'll just be putting them up in the future, so there's no more oversight.
Can you tell us a time that you'll be putting them up?
On Friday before I leave for the day,
Okay, thank you.
4:35.
Thank you.
Mr. President, can I ask a question? Okay. The packet that we have here, is that on the website so everyone can see it?
Correct.
All of it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All, yes?
Thank you for bringing that up, I have something to expand on that. On March 16th, I asked
State
Cal,
your name.
Bernie Reiner, 142 East Main Street. On March 16th, I asked Cal about a discrepancy between that night's printed meeting agenda that was distributed out here and posted out front and the materials that were available online. There was a discrepancy between those items. During that conversation, I specifically asked him about what is the standard procedure, and he said in no uncertain terms that the agenda packets are posted online Friday before each meeting. Last night, and again this morning, I looked online for tonight's agenda packet, as I do before every meeting. I was unable to locate it. I understand a hard copy was posted in its usual location on Friday, but the online version is the only place the public can access all of the supporting documents, such as the budget, various reports, and letters to council. Only this afternoon, after an email from a resident, was it finally made available online. In 2021, the Pennsylvania General Assembly enacted Act 65 to amend the Sunshine Act to require agencies that maintain a public website to post meeting agendas online at least 24 hours in advance. The law was enacted to improve transparency and ensure that the public has meaningful notice of the business that will be discussed and acted upon. We all know the borough has a website and has routinely posted meeting agendas online for years, so there's no argument that posting online is beyond the borough's capabilities. Tonight's agenda included the appointment of a new council member, an issue of obviously significant public interest. Yet the agenda was not made available on the borough's website and instead was posted only at the municipal building and perhaps out front. While that may satisfy one portion of Sunshine Act's requirements, the 2021 amendments were specifically intended to expand public access beyond a notice taped to a door. Transparency should not be reduced when public interest is at its highest. We should all be concerned by a pattern of actions that appear inconsistent with the stated goal of bringing borough government into the 21st century. We have heard discussions about eliminating audio recordings of council meetings, and now we have been confronted with an agenda that was not made available online despite the borough's long-standing practice of doing so. I asked council to affirm its commitment to the Sunshine Act and directed staff to ensure that future agendas and supporting materials are posted online in a timely and consistent manner. The public should not have to travel to the Borough Hall to learn what its elected officials intend to discuss and vote upon. The Sunshine Act exists to promote informed public participation. The borough should strive not merely to satisfy minimum legal requirements, but to embrace the spirit of openness and transparency that the law was designed to protect. Additionally, at last week's Water Authority meeting, resident Janet Sell publicly stated that our council is working on a 5 to 10 year agreement with Lower Mac for services. To my knowledge, this matter has never appeared as a borough council agenda item, nor has it been publicly discussed by council. If council is working on an agreement affecting our services, we residents deserve clarification regarding when those discussions began, why they have not appeared before the public, and how that information came to be known by a single resident before the members of council. Thanks.
to the approval of the paid bills in the amount of $94,782.04. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
I'll second.
Megan got that.
Oh, I have some questions. I'm looking at page 6. And I'm curious, this is under, can you all hear me?
Are you on the treasurer's report or the pay, which is where over?
This is profit and loss budget versus actual.
Yeah, that was the previous motion, but I can still answer the question. Unless you want to ask me afterwards, it's up to you.
No, we wanna hear it.
Totally up to you.
Okay. My question is, I see that the police vehicle maintenance, and I'm assuming that's what this is. The budget is $2,500 for $20. But so far, nothing's been spent in that category, and I'm just curious. I mean, we're running 4 vehicles, and I'm sure running them most of the time, I would hope so.
What's the line item?
It's 410.372.
Okay, so not page 6 then. Page 5 then.
Yes.
I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
I'll ask our bookkeeper to confirm that that's correct.
It just seems maybe a little unusual that if we're running 4 vehicles around the clock, not 4 at the same time, but we're running them, that we wouldn't have something. Okay, well, that's one question. The other question is 2 down from that, under contracted services. What are those contracted services for?
One of them is for cleaning the building and also for all. It's a contracted service.
No, that's the
No, I
next
think
line
that's
item
under
down.
cleaning.
That's the one below. I'll check on that with you. Obviously, we're far below that budget. Those might be some items that more of the expenses come in later in the year.
Okay. And then my last question, under fire department, 411, annual allocation, or the budget rather, is 90,000. And from January to May, 45,000 has been dispersed. Is that for Lower Macungie?
Correct, yeah, it's billed twice.
All right. Thanks. Sorry about jumping around.
That's fine.
Did we pass pay the bills?
So, no, we have a first and a second for the bills.
Okay. Discussion on the bills. Discussion on the bill to be paid.
Karen Bilger, 975 Vine Street, just because we didn't get a chance to digest the financial reports. I know you're gonna approve them, and that's fine, but can we come next time, and if we have questions, can we ask questions?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I've got a question.
Have your turn. Yes.
This is on page 2,
Of what?
bills paid,
Okay.
and it gives an ad up at the top, the 3rd item. It says 301 South Church Street. Is that the maintenance building?
No, that is, oh, actually, yes, you're right, that is maintenance building. It's not maintenance.
And that's their light bill?
That's BPL, correct. Yep, all their power, yes.
Well, that seems awful lot for a month. I mean, are the lights on all the time, or?
I'm not sure what else
running?
that would encompass. I
Yeah.
could look into it for you.
301 is all the way up at the maintenance, it's not the building, it's the side of the borough.
No.
No,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
Borough Hall.
No, you're right, yeah.
All right, thanks, Cal.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Those, okay. correspondence from the Macungie ambulance. Very nice report from them. We have correspondence with letters of interest for the planning commission vacancies for Virginia Boras and Robert Sell Jr. We'll move on to reports, which we will later visit in new business. Reports, police report.
All right.
Anything from you?
Got May's police report. We had 19 reported total crimes, 1 Part A and 5 Part B, 9 disturbances or fights, 35 vehicle stops and 18 citations. This month, the department encountered an increase in disturbance fights. The calls are relative in nature to patrol duties. They're proactive element of the officers' daily patrol activities. We're working on the radio installation for the patrol vehicles. One of our officers was injured on duty, but remains working while in treatment. And we hired Officer Lukens part-time. He is in the FTO training program and progressing well. And department is currently scheduling its CHRIA audit through the PA Attorney General's office. And that CRIA is background checks that are audited by the Attorney General.
Mayor, I have a couple questions.
Sure.
One is about the officer being injured, but is remaining on duty. Is that wise that he do that? I mean, is it kind of injury that I don't want to see it become exacerbated.
Right,
because
yes, he'll, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't, so this is it sounds like it's an employee that's returned to work.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but clearly they must have been cleared for work. But if there's additional questions, maybe follow up with the officer in charge to see if there's any more information that they can share with you. But anything specific to employees, personnel matter, we shouldn't be discussing that in the public.
Sometimes loyalty can get us into trouble. I'm talking about, an officer wants to do his job and wants to be there. I just don't want to see him get hurt further. The other question I have is on the numbers. Very busy, and it's a little disturbing that we've had, I see under fights and disturbance, 9 in the month of May. But that number does not jive with this chart that I can find it anyway. I don't see 9, or the addition of numbers that equal 9. And I read the first chart as a disturbance or a fight. And then when I go to this chart, I don't see the number 9 appear, or several numbers together that would equal 9. Now, maybe I'm not reading it correctly.
I see what you're saying, Stan. I'll check into that.
Okay.
I'll get back to you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, question for you.
Yes.
You mentioned a radio for the police car. Is that the new radios that the county is getting and we're paying for it?
Correct.
How many handhelds are we also getting? Because we have 4 cars. Is all 4 radios going, are they interchangeable? One? And when the officers go out, do they have handhelds?
They do have handheld ones.
Okay.
Those are the new ones being installed in the cars.
So, okay, so if an officer is in the car, he can take it out of the car and walk with it?
No, the way I understand, there's one in the car, one on a person.
Okay.
So they have one on themselves when they're not in the vehicle also.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I have 2 questions. Is council and the public will they ever be introduced to the new officer, part-time officer?
Yes.
Or not?
Yes, we're working on nailing down a date. He does have a full-time job, and he worked his schedule. We're working around his schedule to try and get him in here on a Monday evening.
Okay. And my second question would be about the vehicle stops
Yep,
today.
I have a system that I just put into place so we can keep track of that. Hopefully by the end of June, I'll be able to present that information for you.
Okay, thank you. Council, have anything they'd like to discuss? Bring up?
Oh, I have one. I remember back in, it was either October or November last year, John Yerman brought up that there were speed limit signs missing on North Chestnut Street coming into town from out by the Iyer Scoville. Because once you hit Borough Line, it goes down to 35. There is no speed limit sign out there. And it was brought up to council and the old borough manager about that, and I don't know if anything has been done about it since.
I believe that's also Walnut Street.
Yeah, he mentioned a couple of
Entering.
streets, Church Street, I think, at the top, and Walnut and North Chestnut, and there was one or two more. And I don't know if they've been addressed yet or not, or what's going on there. Or even if we're allowed to, if Public Works is allowed to post, because a lot of them are state roads coming in.
Probably has to go through engineering, but I'll check on that.
Yeah,
You said
because that's been
Yerman
over
mentioned
6 months now.
John Yerman mentioned that?
Yeah, yep.
Cal, I have a question that's kind of related to that. There's, when you're coming from the direction that he lives, on the right, there was a new telephone pole put up, and the sign that's behind it, it's being blocked. So if a tractor trailer were to turn, they definitely can't see the sign.
Okay.
I think it should be moved on the other side of the new pole.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Mayor?
Yes, I'm gonna reiterate last meeting's, we looking for help for people to join the Planning Commission, Water Authority, and Zoning Hearing Board. And we have a lot of things going on in the park between now and our next meeting. So they have weekly cash bingo every Saturday. Doors are open at 4:30, bingo starts at 6:30. The farmer's market's open Thursdays from 4 to 7 p.m. Truck show starts this week, Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. 6/27, June 27th, we have the outdoor craft show from 11 to 5. There's a cruise night also the same day from 2 to 9 p.m. with food and refreshments served all night. And then the July 4th fun in the park from 9 to 2 p.m. on July 4th. They're gonna have a petting zoo, bounce houses, face painting, cake walk, kids parade, duck race, all the good stuff. Come out and enjoy the events in our park.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, what's on the 27th?
The 27th, there's an outdoor craft show,
Oh, craft show, okay.
and then there's a cruise night the same night.
Gotcha.
That's what I got.
Okay, thank you.
Question?
These are reports.
Sure.
They're on the agenda. I have questions for the mayor. Did you start a new policy that doesn't allow that, because it's always been allowed?
What's,
No, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Couple of quick questions. Do you know who's planning the next National Night Out for the borough?
Yeah.
Has anybody come up to take the place of Ashley?
yes. Yes,
Okay,
they
so
have.
there's somebody working on it.
Yes.
When is the date of that? Is it in August?
It is, I believe, the first Tuesday in August, if I'm correct.
The first Tuesday in August?
Correct.
So somebody's handling that.
Yes.
We're also short 2 police officers, right?
That's
A thir-
correct.
A 30-hour and a full-time.
That's correct.
What is going on with council in reference to, are we advertising for those positions?
We did go through the consortium, and we're sorting through the individuals for that. The consortium's the big police test, so we're going through the individuals for the full-time officer.
Because I know at the last meeting, I believe, Mr. Landis asked about the overtime numbers, and if we're short people, that's gonna drive overtime up.
Correct.
We're short 2 people.
Correct.
Last thing I have is, several meetings ago, I think it was Mr. Reese asked if you did an exit interview on the full-time police officer that left.
I did, yes.
And you were gonna read his exit letter.
Okay.
Do you happen to have that tonight?
I do not.
You do not?
Mm-mm.
Would you be willing to report back on that at the next meeting?
That's a personnel matter. I mean,
Well, they do read resignation letters.
if
read Mr.
it's
Karlowski's.
if it's a resignation letter, I don't know what it is. But understood.
You were asked about an exit interview. Did
Correct.
you do one?
I did an exit interview, yes.
And you went over his resignation letter with him?
Correct.
I think we'd be interested in hearing what that says.
The resignation letter?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
Thank you. Mr. Solicitor, do you have anything?
Nothing
for
to report. No.
Mr. Borough Manager?
I have nothing additional.
We have no unfinished business. We have new business of item A, the appointment of planning commission members. I would like a motion to accept Virginia Vorez.
I'll second it.
Any discussion, council? Any discussion from the audience?
Just a question, Brenda Ivanhoe, 615 East Main. How many positions are open on that?
3.
Thank you.
3 opening?
No, wait, I thought there were more than that.
Is it 3
There's
opening?
3 openings. There's 5 seats.
Who's on now? I think your term expired. Sir, did it not expire?
No, it did not expire.
I think it says it does on the website.
All right. Well, Cal, we'll have to look to see.
Yeah, we'll check that for you, okay? Okay, can we have a vote on that? A roll call?
Oh, sure. Hutchison,
Yes.
Megan Sell,
Yes.
Reinbold,
Yes.
Lynette Sell,
Yes.
Landis,
Yes.
Ashelman.
Yes.
Motion passes, Carl Sell.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Thank you.
I'd like to make a second motion to fill one of the other seats with Robert Sell.
I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion? We had a second.
Yeah, there's a motion and second, so it will be the appropriate time to
Yeah.
have comment. Yep.
I have a comment too. Go ahead.
Okay. I applaud the mayor for putting a letter of interest in for planning commission. I think that's a good move on his part. However, I think it's wise that we bring in as many people in this community as we possibly can. This is nothing to take away from the mayor, but I think now that we have 3, do we not?
We don't
We
have
will,
to.
or we could have 3. I think at that point, they can meet, can they not?
We
With
don't have 3.
And I think we keep looking. I'd just like to see more people in the community involved in this government. And if we keep it close-knit, it's sort of inbreeding, if I could use that term. I don't mean to offend anybody, but I think we need to spread the wealth. We need to have others with other ideas coming to us with their ideas as to how we could move forward with a new project in the borough, for instance. Nothing against the mayor. I mean, I applaud his interest, but I think we ought to really try to have as many in our government, in committees, boards, whatever. My comment.
I'd be happy to hold my letter till next meeting and see who else puts in their letters.
Good.
I would,
Okay, well, I have a comment. I find it, how to word this nicely. I find it appalling, you even expressed to get on a committee with you having 2 lawsuits against the borough.
I don't have
I
two
just
lawsuits.
find that appalling.
I don't have two lawsuits against the borough, just one.
That's just my opinion. I don't think it's appropriate at all. You're suing the borough, and now you wanna get on the committee. I don't find that.
In the same respect, Mr. President, you can't be on the planning commission and recommend to this body and then vote on it. That's also appalling
Okay.
and unethical.
Okay.
I have a question on this, okay? That has been that way for a long time, unless the laws have changed. Because John Yerman, he was on the planning, he was on council. Go
Yeah,
back.
no. The planning commission, you have a 5-member board, right? Or a 5-member commission. So of the 5, 2 can be council or the mayor. You have to have 3, like at-large or from other
Non-elected.
non-elected
Okay,
residents.
so 2 from the council can be on,
2 elected.
2 elected,
Total.
and is the mayor considered elected? Okay, I'm asking, geez.
You're willing to hold it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll hold it to see who else puts their letter in. Or if we only have 2, well, then you're obviously gonna need a third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tim Romick again, sorry, but at the last meeting, I brought up to the borough manager that these vacancies have been open for quite some time, and they still aren't listed on the front page of the borough website.
They're up, I updated them today.
Oh, today?
Yeah, they're on today.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Why haven't they been up there for the last several months? And this is what I looked at on the website. It says Alan Crawford, his term expires 3/31/25. That's gone. Now, I know he's also, I believe, in a nursing home. I think he's doing poorly. Then it says vacancy. That term ends in 3/31/27, so there was a vacancy there. Then it says Ron Karboski. Well, he's no longer here, right? 3/31/29, so that's another vacancy. Carl Sell, 3/31/26. Yours just ran out according to the website in March. Is that correct?
I did not look, I don't know. If you say so.
Well, shouldn't you know when your term expires?
They meet maybe once or twice a year.
Yeah,
It gets
Didn't
lost.
Cal tell you?
Cal's gonna look into the current terms to
So-
see.
Okay, I have one more. Then it says vacancy for the next term, 3/31/27. So right now, you appointed one person at the last meeting?
Yes.
So you really had 5 vacancies. That means you have one person, and you haven't had a planning meeting all year, correct?
That's correct.
Isn't planning commission part of our overall municipal policy for approving land development? Isn't that the integral part before it gets to the decision process? 6 months we haven't had one. You haven't put it on the website notifying people that we have 5 vacancies. And now you wanna turn some people down? You guys gotta get your act together. It's like you don't want a planning commission. Start running the borough. Stop with all the baloney you keep pulling. So, right there, look at your own website, 5 vacancies. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, question. As of right now, we're not sure on your explanation or not. Who's the other person that's on the board?
That would be,
Sue Steinberg was just appointed.
Okay, so then, if there's 5 members, if there's 5 seats, and there's 2 on it, so there's 3, possible 4 openings, depending on the president. Okay, so they're not all empty.
Well, and one thing, I'm not sure who said it, but I haven't looked at the terms. But we will need to, if Ron Karboski, I don't know if he resigned from council.
And he resigned.
Did he resign from the PC as well? Okay, okay.
okay. Move on to item B, tax collector's request for reimbursement.
Well, wait. You have a motion and a second.
Oh, okay, I'm
So I'll
sorry.
withdraw my motion because he was
Okay.
okay with staying.
Sorry.
Thank you.
That's okay,
Sorry.
yep.
Do I have to withdraw my second then too? or-
Yeah, if you.
Okay, I'll withdraw my
sir.
second also.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Are we good now?
Yep.
request for reimbursement of expenses.
The tax collector wished she could be here this evening, but she had a family emergency, she couldn't be here. It's in your packets that the tax collector is afforded by law the ability to receive reimbursement for normal expenses. And the law specifically lays out costs associated with mailing. She has asked for some additional reimbursement. East Penn School District has offered to reimburse 50% of some of these expenses since she took office this year. And that total is $250.11. She's asking the borough to reimburse the other half of those. The two items she is asking for were prior to her becoming elected. My recommendation is because they were elected that they're less appropriate to reimburse. So I personally would recommend the $250.11 if the council's so inclined.
I'd like to make that motion to accept that $250.11 for reimbursement.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Yes, here's my question. You just said $200 and the school district is borrowing 50% of the $200, or is it 400 and we're talking 200?
50% is $250.11. So the total is $500.22. So it's half of the total.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Anything from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C, authorizing the replacement of an exterior basement door at the Macungie Institute.
Yes, thank you. The basement door that leads into the Boy Scouts area here at Macungie Institute, the door is in significant need of replacing, especially for water intrusion issues. And this was budgeted in this year's budget at a cost of $4,500. The Public Works Department received 3 quotes, the lowest of which came in well below the budget amount from Keith's Lock and Door Service at a cost of $3,173.59.
Is that their recommendation?
I'll make that motion to accept that from Keith's Locks and Doors at $3,173.59.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
The door is a steel door,
Yes.
fire retardant.
Yes.
Anybody from the audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Item D, approval of celebration fireworks for display at the Brookside Country Club.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Celebration Fireworks has submitted their annual permit application for fireworks at the Brookside Country Club to celebrate Independence Day. The show will be on July 5th at approximately 9:15 p.m. This has been reviewed by the fire marshal, and he has found everything to be appropriate. Everything is in order for your action tonight.
Question of fire marshal.
We'll have a discussion after we,
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Discussion?
Okay, with the fire marshal, is that just for the setup? Or is that also having a fire company there?
It will be staffed by the fire department. Lower Macungie Fire Department will be in attendance.
Okay, thank you.
Audience? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item E, authorizing revision of Macungie Borough Police Department Internal Affairs Policy. I'll make that motion to approve that. That would be resolution.
It would be, do we have a number?
It will be resolution 2026-11.
So I'll make that motion to approve that. Seconded. Discussion?
I do have discussion. I am going to vote yes to approve it, because I do think that the revisions fix about 50% of the issues for the suit that you mentioned. But even zoning has to have signed complaints. I still would disagree with having anonymous complaints in there. It's going to cost the borough a lot of money to allow for anonymous complaints to be added in there that we absolutely have to then investigate.
What if you were scared to death of what you're complaining about?
No, nothing to be scared of. Their taxpayer dollars have to pay for it. I mean, it doesn't need to be anonymous. If somebody truly has fear, they could drop off their complaint to the borough manager in a super safe environment right next to the police department.
Megan, just for clarification,
Mhm.
you're saying anonymous.
Yes.
You don't want any complaint to come in anonymous.
I mean, we even have to have a signed complaint for a zoning issue to complain about, I'm not even just saying the police department, a staff member, ourselves. What if somebody put in a complaint about you? Wouldn't you want to know what it was about? Even if it was confidential from you, right?
I would like to know, first of all, who it was. And in zoning, if somebody has a complaint, they're there complaining so everybody knows.
Right.
I don't like the police, anybody, to get a complaint without a name on it.
Correct. So then you agree with me? Okay.
Okay.
So then that's my point. It's not in this updated revisions. I think it should be. I think that there should not be anonymous, because we are going to pay a minimum of $300 an hour for somebody to investigate anonymous complaints, potentially on repeat.
Anybody else from council?
So, yeah, Greg,
No, go ahead.
I have a couple questions. This is on page 1 under procedure for the investigation of complaints. Point 6. Do you folks have copies of this?
No.
No.
I'm gonna read it aloud, okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Upon the receipt of a complaint, the chief or officer in charge will immediately send a letter to the complainant, if known, acknowledging receipt of the complaint. I have no qualms with that at all, but I think also, to keep everybody in the loop, the mayor should get a copy of that. That's my first point. Now you go to page 3. For purposes of this section, prior to the start of the investigation, council shall determine whether the chief or officer in charge should conduct the investigation for reasons that include but are not limited to, and goes on. It's a little clumsy wording there. And my suggestion would be, should conduct the investigation if the chief or officer in charge should not.
Well, I didn't prepare it, but it says should not conduct, not should, but should not conduct the investigation for reasons that include but are not limited to conflict of interest, in which case council reserves the authority to designate a qualified person to conduct the investigation, so on and so forth.
I just thought it was a little clumsy wording, that's all. I mean, I have no objection to the concept. It's just the wording of that, just to make it clear. And then when you get down to 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to jump to 9. 9 states that complaints against officers that do not fall within section Roman numeral 6.A.7. I'm not sure what that is. Shall be investigated and documented by the chief of police or officer in charge in accordance with the procedure set forth herein. Such information shall be subject to review by council at any time. And I would like to add number 10 goes then to all officers who are subject to discipline that rises to the level of discharge, suspension, or demotion in rank will be advised of the potential disciplinary charges and provided with an opportunity to respond to the charges before final action taken. Officers may request union representation during interviews that could potentially result in the imposition of discipline. Again, the mayor and council need to be kept informed, but I think 9 and 10 should be reversed. I wish I could show it up on a screen so you could see what I'm talking about, but it just seems like a more logical sequence that 10 follows A and B under 7, and then 10, 9, and then 8. I was just concerned about the sequence and the parallelism that we're trying to create by making this. It seemed to jump from something less serious to more serious, and then back to less serious. And why not the most serious be at the end?
Stanley, so I just want to make sure I got what you're suggesting. Moving 10 to right below 7B. So 10 would now be 8.
Correct.
And then moving 8 to the end,
Yes,
8 would be 10.
right.
And I guess 9 would stay at 9.
9 would go to 10,
Okay.
and 8 would come after.
Okay, 8 would go to 9, 9 would go to 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It just is a little smoother sequence. I'm sorry to be so picky, but I just like to see that it's an easy document to follow. It makes sense because it's sequential. And the last one. This would be on page 4, top of the page. The chief of police or officer in charge may immediately impose a temporary paid administrative leave of a police officer when she reasonably believes that 1, the officer is unfit for duty, or 2, the action is necessary to protect the health, safety, or welfare of a borough employee or the public. Such action shall not be deemed to constitute disciplinary action against the accused officer. But I think we've got to let the council and mayor know about that as well, and we're not saying that. I mean, if there's going to be a policeman having discipline against him or her in this manner, I think it's important that council and the mayor is informed. Those are my thoughts.
Okay, to some of your points, but immediately after the paragraph you just read, doesn't that kind of take care of all that with including council? With your concerns, what that sentence says?
It doesn't say council.
Sure it does. Item 12, authority to impose discipline.
Impose.
Seven.
Sorry. Are you on the?
I'm sorry, 7, page 4.
Uh,
Authority to impose discipline.
Yeah, that definitely rests with council, but prior to that, council acting in that way, should not the mayor and council know what's going on?
Yes,
That's
Sam,
the
I
point
think
that-
we actually talked about that with the attorney, and that was supposed to be changed.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yes.
yeah. That's what we had discussed, and so it just makes it more, as I say, more sequential.
Right.
That's all,
Right,
that's all.
right.
But no, I agree then with 7, it's just the way it is.
Okay.
Well, listen, I'm taking down notes of all your comments, and I don't think I was, when you guys went through it.
He might have hung up by that point.
Okay.
But there was multiple
So
different
if there
spots.
are revisions specifically that one that's not included, I mean, I'm gonna suggest, hold
I
off.
think we should hold.
Follow up with Attorney Gerber, ensure that those revisions are incorporated, specifically the ones that were talked to previously, and then if everyone's okay with Stan's suggestions or comments,
Sure.
make those revisions and bring it back before council at your next meeting.
Sure.
But you do have, was there a motion? There was a motion.
There was a motion.
Can I-
So again, you have a motion on the floor. That would be my suggestion at this point.
So we can just table this and revisit it.
Sure, correct, sure. That's
On
why,
review of some of your suggestions.
yes, thank you.
Is that fine
Yes.
to do that?
Yeah, well, you do have a motion, so if someone wants to amend their motion,
Okay,
I think he made the motion.
I'll
Yeah.
amend the motion to table this until it's revisited and reviewed again by the Attorney Gerber.
and revised in a manner consistent with the discussion here this evening.
Yes. That. Okay?
So does someone want to second the amended?
Yes,
I will
yes,
second the amended motion.
All in.
Unless there's comments from the public.
Is there any comments from the public?
I have one comment. Karen Milger, 975. How far in advance do council members get these documents? Because it seems like there's a little bit of, like, questions and people are rummaging through them now, just looking. I'm just curious, how long do they get to review these and digest what's in them?
I think we got these Friday afternoon
Friday
around
afternoon.
5.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that's tabled.
Well,
Could I just make a comment about Karen's comment? I mean, it's our responsibility whenever we get these things to read them. Now, if it's 2 days prior to the meeting, or if it's 5 days prior to the meeting. So I don't see it as a burden. It's my responsibility to do this. And we all have responsibilities around the table, so it's really not, I don't consider it a burden. I'm used to this kind of thing to begin with, so it's okay with me. I appreciate your comment, but it's okay. It has to be done.
I just feel that they are passing things that not everybody knows what is really in these documents.
Well,
The residents don't know what they say. We didn't get a chance to read them.
Well, we can't call each other and discuss this.
Right.
It's gotta be an open.
I'm not asking that, Carl.
I know, but I'm just saying what he's bringing up.
People to.
We have to bring it up in public.
I understand that, but
Okay.
I don't think people sitting here had an opportunity to read it. I got to read it and I couldn't see it because it wasn't on the website.
Well, that was a mistake. Yes,
Quick question.
could you state your name, please?
Tim Roman.
Could you come to the podium, please?
Sure. Tim Roman, business owner. In your discussion, did the anonymous issue get resolved? As far as anonymous complaints? Because I do agree with what Councilwoman Sell mentioned. You can't even file a complaint in this borough, okay, without signing and dating and stating your complaint. So now you wanna allow, I'm just saying hypothetically, you wanna allow people that may not be above board, may have a beef, may be less than honorable, to go make complaints against our police officers, anonymous, with nothing to do with reality, and you're gonna spend money investigating that person, so you're gonna put them under scrutiny, and you're gonna spend money to do that investigation. That makes no logical sense, and I don't think you want that. You need a signed official complaint for all these other little things in our borough. But you actually wanna let them make anonymous complaints? I get pulled over and I'm not happy about it, I call it a complaint. Okay? Whatever. That just doesn't make sense. You need to remove that. So did it get removed as one of the items tonight?
They haven't adopted anything tonight. They simply
I know.
they're tabling it,
Yeah.
subject to revisions pursuant to the comments. And that comment from at least two of the council members will be relayed to Attorney Gerber, who's the labor counsel for the borough at this point.
Okay.
All right?
Last question I have. since it wasn't on the internet, the public didn't get to see it, obviously. But do you have any idea what you've spent on this so far to get this far? Any rough numbers?
You looking at me?
Anybody? Well, you're the president, that's why I'm looking at
No,
you.
I don't.
Okay. Does anybody know about how much council has spent on this so far?
Too much.
Too much. Could we find a number out by the next meeting? Could somebody tabulate those expenses and please bring them back to the public? Could you do that? Yes or no?
I'm not doing it.
Okay. Maybe somebody could find it amongst their spare time to do it, either the mayor or some council person. Don't you think the public would like to know what you're spending on these things?
I think that's a fair question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you still have a motion on the floor to take.
Ron Conrad. I just want to thank council, especially some of the newer council members, I guess, for having this meeting about police policy. Actually at a regular scheduled meeting with notice and not the morning before Thanksgiving with barely 24 hours notice. Thank you.
So you still have a motion on the floor tabling the policy in order to incorporate some of the comments and concerns that were discussed this evening.
It's been motioned, it's been seconded. Can we get a roll call?
Absolutely. Megan Sal,
Yes.
Reinbold,
Yes.
Lynette Sal,
Yes.
Landis,
Yes.
Ashland,
Yes.
Carlsell,
Yes.
Hutchison.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Item F, authorizing the partial release of financial security for Mavis Tire.
Mavis Tire posted security in the amount of approximately $742,000 at the beginning of their project. They actually have not asked for any releases, which is unusual. Usually they ask as along the way, but they did not. They are asking for a release at this point in time in the amount of $608,161.97. They have worked with BIA to confirm that number, which BIA has confirmed that number. The amount that'll be remaining after the reduction is $134,381.52, which does cover the maintenance period for the project as well as the HOP improvements out on Route 100, which are scheduled to be completed in the next few weeks. So that is available. Per Barry Eisen Associates, this is an appropriate reduction.
So there will be enough there for the sidewalk and curbing.
Can we make a motion first?
Yeah, should the developer walk away?
Okay,
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
make the motion, yes.
I'll second the motion.
Just
Now-
as long
now
as
you have
there's
to wait.
enough money to do the sidewalk and curbing. I don't know if it's a whole thing, part of it, or whatever, just so we have enough. I don't want another stone hill.
These are recent numbers.
Okay.
Anybody else on council discussion?
Cal, will that number cover it if it has to be rebid?
If the borough has to do the work?
Yeah, will the remaining number cover it if we have to do it ourselves?
Yes.
Okay.
How would we be bidding? I don't understand that.
Well,
So
preferably, we don't want,
No, we don't.
you don't want to do the project. The idea is the developer's gonna finish it.
The developer will
Okay,
be,
good. Mayor said about rebidding it, that's.
I think the
So-
intent was if they defaulted and they walked
We don't end
away.
up with a BT stone where we don't, want to make sure it covers.
Any discussion from the audience? A roll call, please.
Reinbold,
Yes.
Lynette Sal,
Yes.
Landis,
Yes.
Ashelman,
Yes.
Carlson,
Yes.
Hutchison,
Yes.
Megan Sal.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Mr. Reinbold.
What?
It's 9:00. I'm just asking.
I'm good yet.
Okay, thanks. Okay, we'll now move on to public comment on non-agenda items.
Good evening, I'm Dan Jarrett, 340 Abbey Road. I'm the president of the newly elected owner controlled HOA board that fills the Brookside. I'm here on behalf of the many concerned residents, some of which are here tonight, of our community regarding the soon-to-be-started emergency access road, and more specifically, the public walking trail that cuts through our community. We have over 50 signatures of our residents who are opposed to the plan as it is today. Unfortunately, K Builders did not adequately inform or properly disclose the plans for the walking trail, which, without a doubt, is the public improvement with the most significant impact on our community. The new owner-controlled board only came to understand all aspects of the trail and its major implications within the past month. I spoke with Kay's sales agent on Saturday, who has been on site for over 2 years and who still does not understand the plan for the trail. She continues to communicate inaccurate information to existing owners and potential home buyers. Our residents have been misled and are very upset now that they understand the reality of the plan as it's about to go forward. This trail is so ill-conceived, it's hard to put into words. I request that each of you serving on council come out and walk this 3,600-foot pathway that was recently surveyed to see firsthand what this borough approved several years back. Then I want you to look at our residents in the eye and tell them that you believe this is a good plan. We certainly don't know all the history that went on during the planning process, but it's clear that the borough looked to incorporate a walking trail as part of the 20-foot utility and drainage easement that serves as sort of a delineation and buffer between the neighborhoods. In fact, a former council member made the following statement to a member of the riding's HOA, and I quote, "We convinced K Builders to consider placing a walking path between the neighborhoods to allow Macungie residents to get back and forth between the town center and the Willow Elementary School and lower Macungie pathways." Clearly, this trail was very important to the borough. Walking paths already exist between Main Street and the elementary school along Willow Lane and beyond. You are well aware of the borough's geography, and unquestionably you realize this is nothing more than a shortcut literally through the backyards of several communities, most notably ours. But given that this trail literally dead ends at a chain link fence on the southwest property line of the country club, some 2,000 feet from Main Street, the council's ultimate objective wasn't achieved. We now have a path to nowhere at one end of the trail. This is a clear intention public thoroughfare with virtually no benefit for our residents, which you approved to run through a small private community of 66 homes with complete disregard for the impact on its residents. There's no other public pathways like this in the area.
Okay, excuse me, your time is up.
My name is Zoe McCord, 320 Abbey Road. I'm the vice president of the HOA of the Fields of Brookside, expanding upon what Dan was just speaking to. So we were talking about no other public pathways like this in the area. 23 homes along the west side are the most adversely affected, with many decks and patios no more than 8 paces from the trail, my neighbor and myself included. A complete intrusion into their personal space and invasion of their privacy. The aforementioned lots average just 6,500 square feet. It's inconceivable that a public trail can be placed so close and so exposed to the small backyard of these residents. Again, we urge you to please come and walk it for yourself. To make matters even worse, the borough has placed the responsibility of maintaining the trail on the HOA. This was a shock to us all. This trail is 3,600 feet long, 8 feet wide of paved asphalt, increasing to a 12-foot width when it merges into the emergency access road, and then back down to 8 feet as the path continues toward the golf course. It's completely bordered by a split rail fence on the interior and a 6-foot-high board-on-board privacy fence on the exterior. Mind you, over 2/3 of the trail is not on HOA property. How can the borough do this and believe it's appropriate and equitable? The borough and the public benefit from the trail, but the HOA is responsible for all the maintenance, including replacement of the asphalt and fencing, snow removal, landscape maintenance, and potential liability expenses. In addition, residents are also rightly concerned about their security and their safety. With a 6-foot-high fence shielding one side of the trail, it becomes an easy getaway to come undetected into our backyards. The community has already experienced 2 break-ins in the past 6 months, as I'm sure you're aware. Would you want your kids playing in the backyard, literally just a few feet from a walking trail? Think about your own families. And then there's the issue of these electric bikes and motorized scooters that are prevalent throughout the borough. While this discrete trail is discovered, it'll become a prime location for this, and you can bet word will spread. This will certainly become a real nuisance for our residents and then a safety issue for pedestrians, especially given that the trail has fences bordering both sides. Who bears the responsibility in the event of an accident or injury? In summary, this planned trail makes no sense in so many ways. It's not an ordinary walking path. It was ill-conceived and not well thought out. How the borough could approve this in good conscience and then place responsibility on the HOA to maintain it, it's beyond our comprehension. So, we understand that the borough itself has no authority to alter and approve land development, but the developer, K Builders, can ultimately propose changes. We are aware there's already a significant issue with the location of the trail as it interferes with portions of the golf course that now requires modification. We expect to be meeting with Kay later this week to discuss our concerns and potential changes, and we trust that the borough will give serious consideration to modifications that may arise out of this process. The council has an obligation to serve and protect the residents of Macungie and our homeowners who are footing the bill deserve a voice on this issue. Thank you.
Sandy Barrett, 233 Riding Circle. I come from the other side of the fence, and I have an extreme issue on where originally even the property line was set up. I know in the beginning, I've been there 26 years, so in the beginning we rented land back from K Builders. We did that, and that, that was for almost the whole time. Then, so then the fence was at this point, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the place, but there's boulders. There was already a fence up there. Supposedly, that was in the budget, that would be the property line. But if you look at the property line that K Builders has now put where everything is, that property line is now back into where they originally thought they were probably. So the property line, I don't agree with where they have it set, and if they do it, what would be, what I would, only me, I mean, I'm not a surveyor, but where I would have expected it to be, where the original fence was, there really isn't even enough room for an 8-foot path. I mean, it's gonna destroy the entire section. You know, the way it's set up now, it's gorgeous. We can have, they certainly need to fix the water. That was, we had, I'm sure you guys know the flood we had not too long ago with that. And that was part of the stuff we brought up when they first started. I've been coming to those meetings since they started planning this, and no one could understand why they were putting that up. That was a borough. They had to have that walking path. So now I think there's so many people here from Riding. I know there's so many people from the Ridings. We also have a really, we're really against the walkway and the fence and just the whole thing the way it is.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amanda Robbins. I'm at 291 Riding Circle. I just purchased the property a month ago, and the plans that were put into place in 2021 by the council and also the HOA with the Ridings of Brookside were not made aware to me. I would have not purchased this property. I have emailed with Cal. I also spoke with Brian Slivka from K Builders and the surveyor who was out. The line where the utility easement is 7.5 feet away from the corner of my deck. I apologize. It's a very emotional thing for me. We just moved into this home. My son has special needs. I worry about his safety every second of every day. Elopement and security are huge issues for our family. And this property, this road that they are putting in is literally ripping apart the landscape of the side of my home. And it is going to butt up right against my deck. It's such an eyesore. And I echo exactly what these people have shared with you. Please come and look at it. It's atrocious. It is right against our homes. There is no safety, there is no security, and it is a huge concern and shouldn't be there. Thank you.
My name is Mark Minatola, and again, I come from the same community that the first two people were talking about, like Brookside. And when I'm 75 years old, my wife and I, she's 70, We moved from the hustle and bustle of Allentown to retire in the relaxing, quiet borough of Macungie. It is nothing. This is not going to be relaxing or comfortable if they put this path in there. I mean, when they build our houses, we don't have a sidewalk in front of our house. I guarantee everyone on council here has a sidewalk in front of their house. They put a macadam walkway in front of our house. We thought that was the walkway. Okay, now they want to put a walkway close to 7 feet from my back porch. Okay, this is unheard of. Please, one of you, 2 of you, 5 of you, just take a walk out there. I guarantee, if one of you can walk out there and say, oh, that's okay, don't worry about it, fine, let them put it in. I guarantee every single one of you, without a doubt, you would worry about security. Everyone already talked about that. Our house, you talked about the crime in Macungie. Like, how many houses were broken in last month? Well, we have 2 of them in our development, and our development was just made a year ago. Okay, it's just starting. You know, these e-bikes, I don't know if you've ever seen e-bikes in Macungie. I have. They come right between our houses, and they go right through the writings. Okay, now you're gonna put a pathway in there? This is a great place, a secret, secluded hideaway with no police access. A police car is not getting back there, okay? This is horrible. You know, I did speak last month about this, and I think it just went in one ear and out the other, but now they're starting to put this thing in there. This can't happen, okay? Again, find a time, you know, like, take a ride out there, and then tell me after that if you think this is a good idea, okay?
Thank you.
Ron Conrad. I'd also like to know how much money was spent on the police policy thing. I'd like to know how much money has been wasted by the former majority of council on everything. I know we could do right to know, but I think the information, if it could be shared from someone from the board, I'm sure we would all appreciate it. How many taxpayer dollars went to Mr. Harvey for legal fees for an investigation based on lies in an incident that the County DA's office said was handled correctly? How much was spent on the zoning debacle? The first time around, I believe it was around $6,000, and that was just for 2 properties. The next round, I believe, was 85 or 90 properties. Are we talking 50,000, 100, 200? I don't know. And the people are gonna pay for it. In a perfect world, the council people that voted for it, they'd write the check. You wasted it, pay for it. But unfortunately, all the taxpayers gotta pay for it, so we should really know what those numbers are. Something I'd like to see on the agenda, brought on the agenda by council members for the next meeting. Take the public comment on non-agenda items and move it to the beginning of the meeting where it belongs, where every other municipality has it in the county. Don't make people come and sit if they don't want to and wait for a whole meeting to get up and say their piece. I hope everybody stays. It's great to see the big crowds, but move it back to the front of the meeting. That's where every other municipality has it. You know, if somebody wants to just come in, say something and leave, I'd give them that opportunity. Don't have them guess when the meeting might end, when they should show up. And take the 3 minutes and put it back to 5 minutes, where they've been for a long time, and also where most municipalities have it at. Thank you.
Hi. Wendy Horn, 118 Lehigh Street. This is in regards to the Lumber Street residential development. I saw in the notes that Mr. Hutchinson asked if there was any paper streets that cross the property, and Mr. Fry stated that he does not believe that there are any. On my deed, it shows that there's a 20-foot wide alley in the back of my property and along the other residentials that's back there. So I was wondering, like, what has changed and when it changed, and like how it changed, like what was the process if it was changed? That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I ask you a question?
No. Before we can ask questions, can we ask questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead, whatever.
Just very,
one of the twins.
And that alleyway supposedly that exists is behind your place.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
I just didn't hear the beginning.
Oh,
On your deed, this might be a little technical, on your deed, normally a paper street is half deeded to you and half deeded to the other. Do you have that on your deed?
it just says like there's one of my kins is right up against a 20-foot wide alley. Well, I mean, will I find out like a process?
Where do you reside? I missed the street.
118 Lehigh Street,
Lehigh Street.
yes.
I mean, we're gonna have to follow up with the township engineer, or the borough engineer, and I'll have to look at it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Grow, 235 Riding Circle. And I'm asking if you could put the privacy fence and the walkway on hold until you come out and properly check everything out and can attest to what this is gonna do to our community. And I think we have a right to not have it continue until it has been properly checked. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gotta move quick. Jeff Hartman, 212 West Main Street. This evening, I'm here to speak on my own behalf as a resident of the borough for 30 years. An incredible amount of commercial development has gone on at the west end of Main Street. I'm sure many of you know that. I've been here. I have endured a lot. I think Emmons Bank has been a good neighbor. Woodmont has been exceptional. Mavis, I'm still working on the outside lights to go off at the close of business, which is another complaint I filed. However, tonight I want to talk about public storage. It's been a major nuisance. There are lights from the second, third, and fourth floors beaming into my backyard. I was working with Rebecca zoning for months to resolve, and it was one weekend last summer. I couldn't believe it. Lights were off. I thought, wow, thank goodness they've done something, but it was short-lived. Finally, on December 12th last year, I filed a formal complaint citing two ordinances. One is a zoning ordinance. Chapter 345.22, I-5 specifically prohibits any light source above 20 feet if it is within 25 feet of a dwelling. Public storage is within 15 feet of my property. The response I received was, well, 345.22I, control light and glare subsection, only regulates exterior lighting that spills across lot lines into public streets. Now, whether the lighting source is internal to the building or outside the building, the net effect is the same. The light is clear intent and design is to provide significant lighting to the exterior of the building facing Route 100 and my property on the other side. And it does require all light sources to be shielded. There's been some standing for this complaint because for enforcing and requiring shades or tinting on windows, you remember when the borough was installing the posts on Main Street. Several residents complained that the light and glare was going into their apartments or houses. Even though the ordinance, and it specifically exempts street lighting owned and maintained by the borough still provided shades on the backside of the lighting for the residents, which is great. When Lehigh Valley Hospital built their hospital and their three-story health building, I attended the meetings and the residents were concerned. The residents behind the health building, they were concerned about their privacy and lighting coming from into their homes. The hospital installed shades, window shades, all 3 floors, and you can look at for yourself for the residents to protect exterior light. Now that zoning, again, there's another ordinance, 230 discusses general nuisances, and chapter 231 specifically states glare as a nuisance, which is prohibited. Glare is the
Excuse me, Mr. Hartman.
Yes.
Your 3 minutes are up.
I'm just on the last page. I beg, Father, just ask
If
for.
I give it to you, I gotta let everybody do it. There's more people that wanna speak.
With all the people, 5 minutes.
Well,
There's more people that wanna speak, sorry.
My name is Eric Lindy, 340 Abbey Road. We're in the fields of Brookside. Also part of the Homeowners Association Board. We've, let you know, we've engaged Keystone Consulting Engineers. I personally, along with the president, walked the path of the proposed, the plan for the walking path. The walking path is 8 foot wide, which means you could drive an automobile down it. It has a fence on one side and a fence on the other side. There's a split rail fence in the backyard of the people who have a home. They can't even get to the walking trail unless they walk down 300-400 feet to get to an access point. I think this was put together by a consulting engineer, or Kay had somebody do something that met the requirements for land use, okay? And what we're looking to do is we would like to engage with the people at the Ridings, the council, Kay, okay? And make sure that we come up with something that benefits every one of the constituencies that are involved in this. That should be the people who live in the Ridings, should be the people that live in the fields of Brookside, and we should also do what we can to make Macungie the best place it can be. What we need is a little bit of a break, okay, on the process, so things just don't get done and thrown together. We have 2 fences to maintain if it goes in according to plan. We don't have enough space on either side of those fences to maintain them, okay? And if you have to repave this at some point in the future, you're gonna have to tear the fences down in order to do the maintenance. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So what we'd like to do is have the ability to meet with the consulting engineers, the people in our development, the people in the Ridings, and we'd like council to become involved with this so that you understand what our concerns are, and we try and find something that's gonna work for the maximum number of people involved.
Thank you.
Dennis Fritz, 32 Lee Street, and former fire chief in the town also. I've addressed council many times over the years for different things. And I must say that at least the last 2 years have been a very dysfunctional council. Because of one power-hungry person who's no longer on council now. And he wanted to take control of the fire department, the police department, and also got rid of several good borough council employees over the years, the last 2 years. We have several council members got out of council because of this individual. And we have lawsuits going on for the council. But at the end of 2023, the Macungie Fire Department got rid of the fire chief who was made a big problem for the department. We had him removed, and we started to reorganize the fire department. Mr. Romick, myself, and Jeff Stevens, a lawyer, and Mr. Kowalski sat at meetings every other Tuesday at the Borough Hall trying to come up with something to get the fire department back up and going. Well, Mr. Kowalski, actually Jeff Stevens came up with a terms of agreement. okay? We did not, Mr. Romick and I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff in that terms of agreement, and because of that, Mr. Kowalski got really upset because we did not go with what he wanted. Wound up in a yelling match at the last time we had a meeting, got so bad, one of the police officers had to come up to the room and see what was going on. All I would like now that we have a new council, and we have a few holdovers from Mr. Kowalski, I know, we're still sitting here, but I think it's important for members of the council to see, instead of fighting with the police department, the maintenance crew, and the fire department, I think you should be asking, what can we do to help you? Instead of fighting. Janet Sell last at the authority meeting was saying how good the fire department was over the years and how it was. And it was good when I had it. I brought it from a Keystone Cop Fire Department. I was the first one to buy my own bunker gear and stuff, and we had a real good department. We got rid of our bad apple in the fire department, we got rid of bad apple in the council. I think it's time we all need to work together and try to get something good for the community again, which it was for over 100 years. Thank you.
Tim Romick, again, business owner and president of Macungie Volunteer Fire Department. Mr. Hutchison, at the May 2026 Borough Water Authority meeting, you stated several lies to the Water Authority. You stated that the Macungie Volunteer Fire Department did not have workers' comp insurance. You went on to say that you visited several of the surrounding fire departments and that you were told these other fire departments did not want to work with the Macungie Volunteer Fire Department. We at the Macungie Volunteer Fire Department were contacted by a couple of those fire departments. They told us that you went to them and made several derogatory and disparaging comments about our department and its leadership. You were trying to taint the Macungie Volunteer Fire Department reorganization and sour any relationship between these fire departments and our department. What you didn't know was that some of them already had copies of our workers' comp insurance policy. This was done in preparation for combined department training and future mutual aid. At the June 2026 Borough Water Authority meeting, the Macungie Volunteer Fire Department turned over copies of our paid workers' comp insurance policy for 25 and 26 that we're paying ourselves. We also exposed to the authority what we were told by the other fire departments, that they have no problem working with us and that you appear to be there on a sabotage mission to sabotage the reorganization efforts of our department. As a sitting councilman, you were on a sabotage mission to defeat the reorganization of the Macungie Volunteer Fire Department and stop us from being put back on mutual aid with the other fire departments. Can you explain to all of us why? I'm sure you won't. Now, Mr. Sell, it's become painfully obvious to all of us in this audience that as president of council, you are way over your head. You're out of your league, especially now that your puppet master is no longer here to help you. I believe that you are not aware that all government meetings operate according to principles of parliamentary procedure, based on and as described in Robert's Rules of Order. Even though I disagree with almost everything you stand for, I have decided to donate to you a copy of Robert's Rules of Order for Dummies to help you not look like such a dummy. Thank you. Read it. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
I recommend 277 Ridings. I just want to say, as a member of the Ridings community, when the Fields of Brookside went in, and we had a huge issue with stormwater drainage, flooding our basements, causing the sinkhole at the end of the development. Our issue was stormwater runoff, and how do we mitigate it, and how do we stop it from happening once the Fields of Brookside was finished. And so, not necessarily in favor of that pathway at all, again, for security purposes for both communities. How will we know going forward, because they started construction of the pathway. Will it continue until council takes a walkthrough, or what is our option here?
So, the borough engineer's not here. That's the first step, to reach out to them. I'm not sure where they are on the construction. I wouldn't know. But someone mentioned it tonight. It's an approved land development plan. That was before this council years ago. So without having an amendment to that land development plan, the borough can't do anything immediately. The first step will be to reach out to Barry Iset, the borough engineer, to let them know about the complaints that were communicated to council this evening with respect to the walking path, the fence, and I also wrote down, I think, the emergency access road. But it's an approved plan. To the extent that they're starting the construction of the path, I don't know that. We'll have to check with the borough engineer and take it from there. I suspect, but like I said, the borough can't unilaterally change a plan. It's already been approved and recorded. But, I mean, I can't tell you much more at this point. Sorry.
Pat, who does an amendment?
Sandy Barry again, 233 Riding Circle. That may be the case, but is there any way that the council can just put a hold on this?
That's what I'm asking. Who could do
So,
an amendment?
I don't know what the status is of the construction. Who can do an amendment when it's just the developer? The developer can do it. The problem is, the developer has sold the majority of those lots, and I understand a lot of you are here in opposition of the path, but you bought your property in that was designed and intended to be constructed in accordance with the approved land development plan. So the problem with an amendment to the plan at this point is it's not just the borough and the developer, right? It's the borough, the developer, all of the property owners associated with the development. There are a number of factors that go, this plan has been approved for several years. So to that point, once they start selling the lots, which I believe all or most of those lots have probably been sold, that complicates the process because those people bought a property based upon the approved land development plan.
The developer wants the paths.
But if they've been lied to some of this and.
That I don't know. Listen, this borough, the council's not gonna.
That's where I'm asking, and I think everyone is asking. Yes, everything is complicated. It was complicated when I first bought the land that I bought 26 years ago. I had to pay extra because it said it was not zoned. Look, guess what's behind my house? It's zoned. I didn't know it gives me my $5,000 back. That was a plan. Nobody talked to me about that plan. So any plan can be changed. We're just asking that somehow or other the council can go to whomever and just say, look, let's review whatever it is that needs to be reviewed. And it may be difficult, but nothing's impossible.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Amanda Robbins, 291 Riding Circle. To the same point as I had made before, the utility access road being right up against my property, I don't understand how any emergency vehicles can utilize it. It's not graded appropriately. I'm sorry, I don't have an engineering degree behind me, but the way the road looks is it is at an almost 90-degree angle through the yard, and it is sloped downward. All of the water runoff will go into the foundation of the homes in Riding Circle. And K Builders had issues with the fields of Brookside when they originally developed that land with drainage, and it caused a 12 by 27 foot sinkhole on the property that I purchased. They did backfill it, they did a beautiful job rebuilding the foundations, shoring up the home, but the concern is that because the ground has already been vastly manipulated and damaged, what's going to happen next if you're looking to utilize that access road for, what is it, a 75,000-pound fire truck, or a 2 or 3 ton fully loaded police officer's SUV? How is that going to compromise my property, and where is all the water going to go? Because it's really, I'd love for you to look at it if possible, because it is very scary to think about what the potential damage and the displacement of my family from our home could be in the long run. So, thank you.
Question, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Utility easement behind your property, you have a utility easement, and then you had the walking path? Are they side by side, or are they together?
That is an excellent question. I have not been given that information. My understanding was that the utility road runs into the walking path. But again, I see posts that have pink ribbons and, you know, to my ignorance, they explain that as the utility road that runs from the side of my home at a 90-degree angle into the fields of Brookside, all the way through somebody else's yard and property. And then there are blue ribbon posts as well that go behind the property of Linfield Circle, up and around the back end of the golf course as well. I'm not sure if the blue ribbons are part of the walking path, if my utility easement is as well part of the walking path, if there'll be fencing around the utility easement. I asked Cal all of those questions and did not get a response to my email.
Okay, so where you live at, there's a fair amount of land there that's supposed to be utility going through there?
There is a fair amount of land that is not utilized because this access road and what will be the walking path and the utility road essentially butts up against our properties. So,
Okay, so the walking trail has nothing to do where you're at?
the walking trail connects, sir, from my understanding, because I see two different, the gentleman that did all the surveying, there's two different sets of posts and they're intermingled.
Okay, I know the writings a little bit, and I know where you live at.
Okay.
My question is, where is the walking path in your area to go to Brookfield Development?
From my understanding, if this is Ridings and my home is on the end, the utility easement is right here, and then the walking path and utility easement runs from the beginning of the fields of Brookside all the way through the property line, down that side of Riding Circle, all the way over to Linfield Circle. And then I believe someone had mentioned that it dead ends, where you don't have access to Route 100 or any other spot. You just have to turn back around.
Right, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Susan Grubb, 235 Ridings. What is being done right now by K Builders, I don't think is following. You said that the things are in place, but I don't think they're following what is supposed to be done. So if nothing else, you need to go in.
I
and
said we're
verify.
gonna talk to the borough engineer to have them look at it.
And it needs to be put on hold till this is taken care of. It's a large group of people that need answers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm new to the borough. Casey Foreman, 330 Abbey. How long has it been since we haven't had a planning commission or zoning hearing board here? Because with respect to the borough, right, that's a huge challenge for us, because any developer can come in and propose a variance within 60 days. And if there's no response or meeting held, it's deemed an automatic approval. Which means if this has been going on for a while with K Builders, and there's no one to, how do I say, address the issue that should be addressed, you guys at the borough should be stepping in. I know to fill spots, and that's not what I'm saying here, but it deems an even larger issue on behalf of the neighborhoods that are being affected right now. So when you say, is there something that can be done, I would think that if anyone's gonna be a voice for the community, and you guys who were elected to do that, it would be my first incentive to listen and take care of these people that are here going, something's not right. So I would suggest that we do have the engineer look at that, because this can turn into an even greater issue. Because, for example, if we in our HOA is responsible for flooding and to maintain that thing, if we don't have the money, who are you coming after? Because all of a sudden now we're responsible for 3,600 feet? 3,600 feet. I'm pretty sure that was never explained to you in the sales presentation.
Absolutely not.
Hi, buy a house today.
Yep.
by the way, you're responsible to pay for the entire neighborhood street that's gonna go from this side of town to the other side of town. That was never explained to any of the residents, I'm pretty sure between the writings
And I bought my house a month ago.
Right.
1 month,
Mhm.
no explanation from anyone.
and the fields at Brookside. So my ask is absolutely that there needs to be an intent, if perhaps for any other purpose from the Borough Council, I mean, you haven't had a planning commissioner or zoning hearing board to assist you, and I understand that. But is it possible that during this time frame that this should have been addressed? I don't know, I'm brand new here, so as a local agent broker in the area, I've done a lot of this stuff, and this isn't right, I assure you. So we, I think as a community, are kindly asking that there be some representation on behalf of the people. This project will go on. This builder has, a few months ago, lied multiple times to many people. They were in here asking for the rest of their money, or for an extension, right? Whatever happened to that, I don't know. But if it was my choice, I'd rather drop the path, insist that they fix the rest of the families, the streets that haven't been fixed, the houses that haven't been replaced or fixed. I mean, I had 911 in my house the other day for a gas leak. Nearly blew my wife off the couch. These are issues that are getting very, very serious. And I know my 3 minutes is up. But I say it with respect to these people, and a brand new resident of Macungie. I came here because of the environment that you guys have established here for hundreds of years. And to hear a council as a brand new member going, I can't really do anything, is a pretty serious concern. So we ask that you please hear us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
No more questions?
No, if you're gonna speak on the same.
There's been, it's another ordinance that I'd like to discuss, and there's been several people that had a couple comments.
Mr. Boger, please.
Bob Bogert, 159 South Church Street. I'm just here for, we've had this issue come before us on Water Authority. I'm the Vice President of the Water Authority. Macungie Fire Company is asking, they came before us to ask to use water for fire training purposes. We have done this for 100 years. Now, all of a sudden, Borough Council now wants to tell us that they want to be involved in what is the authority's business. We want to grant them this condition to use water. How can you build a fire? I can't understand why anybody would not want an operating fire company back in Macungie. I don't understand the thinking behind that. We had a bad fire chief, we did. We had money wasted, money stolen, equipment stolen. But these guys are working hard to get this fire company back. They were over $100,000 in debt, and these guys have brought it back till solvency. I don't know what more you can ask from these guys when they want to use a couple of thousand gallons to train their guys once a month. It's ludicrous to me that we wouldn't just say, yes, do it, work as hard as you guys can, you know? You can't recruit guys if you can't train. So that's just my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think one or two did come up twice, and just for the newbies, you only get one chance, 3 minutes for public comment. I do see Mr. Hartman. I'll let it up to council as to whether or not you want Mr. Hartman to speak. If not, we can move on, but
90 seconds.
90 seconds.
Very short.
I mean, it's up to council. 90 seconds.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much. As I said, the second ordinance that I played the count was 230, which discusses general nuisances. 231, 230-1 specifically states glare is a nuisance which is prohibited. Glare is defined as a level of brightness which causes annoyance, discomfort, loss of vision, visibility, yada yada. Light pollution, it's coming in, glare, It is an annoyance and does impact our lives and family. It's interesting, some of you may have noticed the fountain being installed in Woodmont Retention Pond. I stopped to talk to Scott Kennedy, he's the project manager. I asked him about whether lights would be installed on the fountain. And he said he was hoping, but, and I quote him, Steve said Jeff would not want the lights. Steve is the vice president of operations for Woodmont. Incredibly sensitive. Scott went on and said there are light shades that could be installed on the lights that would block all of the exterior light, keeping the light inside the building. So tonight, I'm asking council to take action on this complaint. A solution to the problem is not costly, difficult. They could install blind shield. I love this idea of shields on the inside of the building. And it would only be on the side facing my backyard. And direct the light, where they direct the other side doesn't matter to me. As a longtime resident, public servant to the community, I've had to endure a lot of hardship with all this commercial development. And I'm hoping my request for mediation by council would be addressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Somebody like to make a motion? A motion to adjourn. Can I get a second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you, everybody. Meeting adjourned.